We call to order our joint meeting of the City Council, successor agency to the Redevelopment Agency, Public Finance Authority, the Public Utility Authority, Housing Authority, Paris Joint Powers Authority, and the Paris Community Economic Development Corporation of the City of Paris. This Tuesday, September 12th, 2023 at 6:31 p.m. Madam Clerk, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Rogers. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Nava.
Present.
Councilmember Corona.
Present.
Councilmember Ragg.
Here.
Mayor Vargas.
Present, thank you very much. Item 3 is our invocation, which will be led by our good friend, Pastor Don Meinberg from Reflections Christian Fellowship. If you please stand and join us. Then remain standing for item 4, which will be our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Councilwoman Rogers.
I would ask everyone to please bow your heads, close your eyes, and let's give this time up to the Lord. Dear Heavenly Father, first of all, we thank you so much, Lord, for all your blessings and for the opportunity to be here today. Lord, we thank you for bringing all these leaders here to this place in order for them to express their thoughts, ideas, and decisions in leading your people here in the city of Paris. But Lord, first I want to pray for all the families that were affected 22 years ago yesterday from 9/11, as we remember that tragic event that happened long ago. Lord, to these families, it was like yesterday that they received the news of lost loved ones. We ask you, Lord, to comfort them and give them peace. Lord, we're about to enter again into the holiday season as we approach the last quarter of the year. I pray, Lord, that we allow you to be the center of all planning efforts of our city leaders. In the next 3 months, the city of Paris will have many activities going on for the residents to enjoy. But I pray that in all these things, these joyous ventures are safe for everyone and successful for the city. Lord, as we look around our nation and this world, the future seems so uncertain. But Lord, we know, Lord, that even though we have no idea what the future looks like, we trust in the one that has the future in his hands. The city of Paris is your city, Lord, and you want only the best for all the people that live here. So, Lord, I ask you to give each council member and city staff the wisdom and discernment to lead our city down your path that you've already planned for us. Lord, I ask you to bless each city leader. I ask you to bless each staff member here tonight. Let their voices and decisions be pleasing to you in a way that brings blessings to this wonderful city of Paris. And Lord, I pray that this council meeting tonight is guided by you, and through it all, you will be glorified and praised. We love you, Lord, and we give you praise, honor, and glory in the precious and powerful name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me as we salute our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Item 5 is our report on closed session items. Mr. Koo.
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council met in closed session on the items listed on the agenda. No reportable action was taken.
Thank you. Okay, item 6, presentations and announcements. 6A is a presentation to Alejandra Casas for her accomplishments in softball. 6B is going to be a presentation to Tiana Clark, Miss California, USA 2023. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read off these proclamations up at the dais, then the council and I will come down. We're going to take pictures with each of the young ladies. Then we'll return to the dais. We'll allow the young ladies to make a comment. I'll allow time for council to make a comment, and then we'll end that presentation. So we'll start off with Alejandra Casas. Where are you, dear? Come on up. This presentation was brought forth to us by Mayor Pro Tem Maricela Nava. This is a proclamation issued to Alejandra Casas, Whereas Alejandra Casas is a proud graduate of New View Bridge Early College High School, and whereas she went on to attend St. Mary's College of California as a first-generation student athlete where she obtained her bachelor's degree in psychology. And whereas Alejandra played 4 years with, I forgot to ask someone this name, is it called Gales, G-A-E-L-S, Mia? Gales? Gales NCAA Division I softball team as a catcher where she had numerous accomplishments. And whereas her freshman season, Alejandra led the team in one on-base percentage and was second in batting average while being named Western Coast Conference Player of the Week after a great performance against the University of Oregon. And whereas as a sophomore, she was named to the All-Western Coast Conference preseason team, and whereas in her junior season, Alejandra started off 47 games for the Gales, led the team in runs batted in, and was second on the team in hits, batting average, runs, and triples. And whereas, as a senior, she once again led the Gales with a career best for runs batted in and tied with the team lead for both home runs and extra base hits, while also having the lowest opponent's stolen base percentage on the team from catchers. And whereas Alejandra joined Mexico's national softball team in 2022 and competed at the Canada Cup and World Games of Birmingham, Alabama. And whereas she most recently competed at the 2023 Central American and Caribbean Games in El Salvador, where her team won a bronze medal for the Mexican national team after winning against Venezuela. And whereas it's with great honor that we acknowledge Alejandra Casas for representing Paris at the highest level of softball. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the city council of Paris recognize and congratulate Alejandra Casas on her recent accomplishments, and we wish you much success in your endeavors. Awesome. Alejandra, you can stay up here on the side, mija. All right, Miss California, step on up. Where are you, dear? Tiana Clark. I knew I should have worn my heels. All right, Miss California USA 2023, whereas Tiana Clark, please turn and face our audience, your neighbors, your friends. Tiana Clark, who originates from Paris, California, serves in the role of a sergeant in the Army National Guard and has established herself as a model and actress. And whereas Tiana holds a bachelor's degree in sociology, complemented by a minor in psychology from California State University, San Bernardino, and has set her sights on obtaining a master's degree on her journey of becoming a youth psychologist. And whereas she is a fervent advocate for both Alzheimer's awareness and women's mental health, with her interests including track and field, writing, the realm of fashion design, and the art of roller skating. And whereas she has entered into a professional agreement with the Daniel Hoff Talent Agency located in Los Angeles, California, and whereas Tiana harbors ambitions to carve out a successful career in modeling, gracing the runways for esteemed designers while concurrently working towards a future in acting with an aspiration of landing a role on a television series. And whereas on the 18th day of June 2023, Tiana achieved the title of Miss California USA at an event held at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Orange County in Garden Grove, California. And whereas she was motivated to enter the world of pageantry inspired by Dashana Barber, Miss USA of 2016. And whereas among her sources of inspiration is the late poet and author Maya Angelou, particularly drawn to her memorable saying, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And whereas in her capacity as Miss California USA 2023, Tiana aims to leverage her platform to empower, galvanize, and inspire women to shatter limitations and push their boundaries. And whereas Tiana is committed to propagating the message of women's empowerment enriched by her professional faith her personal faith and life experiences. And whereas we are immensely proud to recognize Tiana Clark for her exemplary representation of the community of Paris. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor, Michael Vargas, along with the Paris City Council, extend our heartfelt congratulations to Tiana Clark for her triumph in becoming Miss California USA. We look forward to your participating in the upcoming Miss USA 2023 competition this fall and wish you an abundant success in all your future endeavors. Presented this 12th day, September 2023.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to start out by saying I'm just so grateful to have been able to represent the city of Paris in the pageant of Miss California pageant in this past June. I moved out to the city of Paris 2 years ago, bought a home, 28 years old. I enlisted into the National Guard as a specialist, and then I promoted to a sergeant. So I've only been in for going on 4 years now, but everything just happened so quickly, and I'm just so grateful. And Paris is special to me because it's kind of represented a milestone for me where, you know, I just started my own life. You know, I bought my home, and it's, you know, I met a lot of friends. I was able to do a lot of community service, and it's just a lot of milestones that happened even within my short amount of time being here. But, you know, I'm so excited to not only have represented Paris in the California pageant, but also Miss USA that's coming up on the 29th. So in a couple weeks, I'll be gracing the stage in Reno, Nevada as Miss California USA. And of course, you know, I'll be mentioning Paris in my interview. Like, they already know, you know, they already know what it's about, right? So, yeah. So I'm very excited about that. And if you guys do have a chance, if you do want to watch, it will be live air on the CW networks. And yeah, that's all I have to say. But I'm just very happy to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. And I just, you know, wish everybody that they have a great rest of their day. And I'm just so happy to see so many amazing faces and just to meet everybody. And yeah, I'm just grateful. So.
I'm just not that tall. Yeah, so I'll do it first in English, and then I'll do it in Spanish. But first, I'd like to say thank you to everyone. Not only that, but I know in Paris, when it comes to sports, like, you really have to be really dedicated. Not only that, like, my parents being from Mexico, it wasn't that easy. Then again, softball is more of an American sport. So I realized how much work I had to put in. Not only that, but I really wanted to do everything for, like, my parents. Not only that, but, like, that really motivated me to play for Team Mexico. And I believed in myself. And then, thank God, of course. But I like to thank you guys as well as you guys. I mean, this is out of my comfort zone. I didn't really prepare what to say. But yeah, thanks.
Okay, with that, Alejandra, come on up and receive your proclamation. Alejandra. Lorena, come on up here and take a picture. step with the council behind you. All right, council comments. Let's start with the order we went in. We started with Alejandra. Anybody want to make comments? Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, congratulations, Alejandra. I know you were slightly nervous, but we just wanted to take a moment to dedicate this time to all your great achievements. You're not only an inspiration for our youth and our athletes, but for all of us here, you made Paris proud, so thank you so much.
Councilman Rab?
Yes, I'd also like to congratulate Alejandra on your success and representing the city of Paris and representing your family. May you continue to be a bright, shining light for everything that's come out of Paris and everything positive for the city.
Councilman Corona?
Thank you, Mayor. Just congratulations to Alejandra and to especially her family. Because I'm sure she was playing softball as a small child, and just her parents were the ones taking her to practice, and to see all of her achievements kind of finally pay off. But the most important thing is she got her education, though. But congratulations.
Councilwoman Rogers?
Congratulations, Alejandro, on doing a beautiful job. Your record is very impressive, and I know where you're going to go next, maybe to the pros. So keep up the good work and be an inspiration to everyone who's following your great record. Thank you.
So where Alejandra, that was, as a short Mexican, that's about all I could play was baseball. I couldn't play basketball. I was too short for football. So baseball was my love of sports, and I was a catcher as well and third base. So I know what you're going through. It is a lot of work. And Mom, thank you for being there behind every athlete. There is a mom that when you start young with all these practices and it takes a lot of support. So I really am grateful for our parents. So good luck to you in your future, and hope to see you maybe someday in the pros. All right, moving on to Miss California, Tiana Clark. Who would like to start? Councilman Rab.
Yes, once again, I'd like to congratulate Tiana Clark for your success, and we wish you the best in the upcoming pageant. And just to clarify, it's CW September 29th? Okay, I was looking up on my phone. So if everybody can, please watch and show your solidarity with Tiana, that she bring home the gold or win the title for the crown. There we go. Win the crown and represent the city of Paris and the state of California. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Congratulations, Tiana, for representing our community, and thank you for taking the time as well to acknowledge and be here with us today. I wasn't aware that this was even happening, so thank you so much for representing our city, and best of luck to your future endeavors. And you have an impressive background, I must say. I did take some time to look at your resume, so congratulations on all your endeavors, and best of luck to you in the future.
Councilman Corona.
All right, I'll just piggyback on that. we're all very proud that you're representing the city of Paris, going there in California and now to USA, and just kind of showing what a wonderful community that what a nice community that the city of Paris is. And congratulations to your parents, especially your mama. I can see where you get your height, and then just want to wish you the very best of luck. Thank you.
Councilwoman Rogers.
Tiana, you're a very beautiful young lady, and tonight's an exciting night right here in our chambers for girl power, because both of you young ladies are exceptional and you're fulfilling your dreams and excelling in the world of beauty or sports. And we want to make sure that you do bring that crown back to P-Town.
All right, Tiana, not much left I can say after all these four spoke on behalf of me. So ditto on everything, but big congratulations on you. Very proud of you and your representation in our city. I did give her my business card, guys, so she's gonna text me or forward me that information so we can post it to let everybody know in Paris that you will be on that program, that, competing for Miss USA. That's a big ordeal, so, all right? Same as we're gonna be watching out for Alejandra when she makes to the pros in softball, so. Again, congratulations, and thank you, Mom, for being here to support your daughter as well. Okay, that's the end of those two presentations. Our next presentation is the update regarding the I-215 Harley Knox interchange improvements. This is going to be introduced by our city engineer, John Percozemi.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. We have another very exciting project. Hopefully we get a good round of applause on that too. It's going to be an update on the I-215 Harley Knox interchange upgrade and improvements. Grace Alvarez, she'll be introducing the project, and Paul Mitika, our consultant, will be providing a small, short presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. I'm Grace Alvarez, Assistant Project Manager for the I-215 Harley Knox Interchange Project Approval and Environmental Document Phase. The professional service agreement with Mark Thomas for the project approval environmental document was approved by this body on November 8, 2021 for approximately $2.4 million. Since then, Mark Thomas has been working with Caltrans and the city's partners, RCTC, the County of Riverside, and Federal Highways to secure some of the environmental approvals. And at this time, I would like to introduce you Paul Mitika, with a professional engineer with Mark Thomas, who has prepared a presentation for you in an effort to keep you up to date, including milestones completed for the project, as well as a simulation of a divergent diamond interchange, a potential preferred alternative for the interchange improvements, and the next steps to secure the CEQA and NEPA approvals, which are known as the Project Approval Environmental Document Phase. In the near future, we will come back to you for the design award contract. And now, help me welcome Paul Mitika to the City of Paris. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Good evening, Mayor Vargas and City Council members. I'm Paul Mitika with Mark Thomas, the engineering consultant working on this project, senior project manager and professional engineer. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the project, basically, in our project update, and do a brief video if technology sticks with us. We have the video pre-downloaded, so I'll get to that in a moment. So hang in there with me, pretty brief update. Just to orient everyone with the project area, we're in the north portion of the city. The north is to your right, or on the screen there to the right. I-215 cuts through the middle of the city here on the north. That's the yellow line running through. And then our interchange is at the Harley Knox. That's our project study area shown in purple. Right now, the existing interchange configuration is considered a tight diamond interchange, basically simple on-off ramps with 2 signals. We also have multiple partners on this project as well, including the city, the county, Caltrans, Metrolink, RCTC, FHWA, BNSF, and the Air Force on this project as we coordinate through. A couple of our purpose and needs for the project. One of the main items is mitigating the interchange congestion and the truck traffic through this area, pretty high levels. We have to maintain close coordination with Metrolink as we have the rail running north-south parallel to I-215, Interstate 215. Want to make sure we're accommodating future projects and growth, including the Van Buren extension and the Harley Knox extension. Establish consistency with Interstate 215, any growth there along the corridor with Caltrans. Any other planned compatibility with future adjacent land uses and growth. And make sure we're also implementing any city active transportation project goals and Caltrans Complete Streets goals with the surface street of Harley Knox. As we move forward with our study, again here, north is to the right, so ignore the north is showing left, but still north is still right, and to the rest of the slides, it's to the right and up to on I-215. This is the existing configuration we noted, which is the tight diamond, 2 signals with the on and off ramps at this interchange. To meet a couple of we've studied 3 alternatives basically to this point. To meet those goals that I mentioned earlier, we're going to be studying alternatives that mainly are including new turn lanes. This will not be capacity enhancing project. This is mainly operations. So trying to improve operations through additional signal improvements and turning lanes to help make better flows for truck traffic and other multimodal needs. So this is the first interchange, just simple tight diamond. We're going to be widening over or putting additional turn lanes over Interstate 215, so there'll be a little bit of widening over the interstate and then over the railroad as well, but mainly touching back down at Western Way and Harville Avenue. A second alternative we've considered and meets the goals is the single point interchange, sometimes known as a SPUI. This combines all the ramp movements at the interchange to one signal. There are a few here in California. It does have decent operations for delay, but it also includes additional footprint and additional widening of the bridge compared to the other alternatives. And it also has additional walls needed as well. So additional infrastructure needs on this one. Again, we'll be widening over the railroad as well. The third alternative, and I'll get into more of the details, as I said, there's a quick video, just watch with there. This is considered the diverging diamond interchange. There has been one built in California. Mark Thomas has actually designed and seen it constructed in its operation. This one is basically works very well with slowing down speeds, safety, less conflicts, and I'll get into more of the little bit of the details there, but basically you're crossing over just in this green box to the other side. This works very well with traffic that's trying to get to and from the interstate, and that's what we have in the traffic volumes we've studied here. So the diverging diamond actually has a lot of feasibility for this project, and I think it's being identified as potentially the locally preferred alternative for the project. So I want to give you a little more background and show you a quick video. One of the great benefits of the diverging diamond interchange is its safety components. As I showed the other interchanges, there's multiple conflicts, but if you really look, most of the geometrics or the ramps are the same. The points at the interstate, but up at the bridge and at the intersection, the two or one signal, there's conflict points there. And so with a diverging diamond, and you don't have to see all this detail on the screen, I'll get to the point here, is basically the diverging diamond has the least amount of conflicts with pedestrians and other traffic as well. It also, with this geometry, slows down the speeds through the interchange as well. So there's definite benefits here. I'll be showing that brief video. It's 2 minutes. Hang in there with us. It's in the city of Manteca. It's been installed and built. The city's loving it, and it's working really well. So we'll just show that as just kind of giving you an overview of what they look like, so you can get a visual of how these operate.
The
With
City
that,
of Manteca,
there it
California, and Caltrans is proud to announce the completion of an innovative city planning project, the Diverging Diamond Interchange, or DDI for short. Together, in partnership with Caltrans and lead consultant designer Mark Thomas, we're working to better the growing Manteca community with a California first-of-its-kind project proven to decrease traffic collisions, increase on-the-road safety, and enhance travel flow. Opening soon at Union Road and State Route 120, you'll find the DDI, helping to alleviate traffic accidents by redesigning interstate entrances and exits. When traveling along Union Road and crossing State Route 120, vehicles will briefly cross to the opposite side of the road via signalized intersections. Vehicles continuing on Union Road will then cross back over to the other side of the road via a second signalized intersection. Movements at these two intersections will be controlled with new traffic signals. Vehicles turning left off of State Route 120 to Union Road will travel via free left turns off of the freeway ramp. Vehicles turning left from Union Road onto State Route 120 will travel via free left turns onto the freeway ramp. Vehicles turning right from Union Road onto State Route 120 will travel via free right turns onto the freeway ramp. And vehicles turning right off of State Route 120 to Union Road will travel via free right turns off of the freeway ramp. In addition to improving safety and reducing congestion for vehicular traffic, the new interchange also includes an innovative separated path for bikes and pedestrians. The path runs along the Union Road and completely eliminates any conflict points with vehicles through the interchange, further improving safety and accessibility for non-motorized users. Findings from the Federal Highway Administration report that DDIs completely eliminate broadside left turn collisions because of their double diamond design. Evaluations suggest total collisions, including right angle and rear end crashes, could be reduced by half while using DDIs. It's an investment in safety, infrastructure, and all of Manteca.
So I just want to note the ribbon passway underneath the freeway. That's not what we're studying on this project. They added that as another component because of the level of bicycle and active transportation going through that interchange. But it did work out well as well. No decisions have been made yet at this point. Just so everyone's aware, I'll get to the schedule and show you where we're at. But we're still study phase. We're working through geometrics at this point and really getting into the teeth of environmental document studies and engineering studies for the project. Just so those three alternatives are there and available, and we have to evaluate them equally. So with preliminary project estimates, we've looked at preliminary estimates based on the three alternatives that I briefly reviewed earlier, including alternative one, which is the tight diamond interchange, with escalated costs for during construction, which is 6-7 years from now, $50 million. Alternative two, the diverging diamond, which I reviewed as well in the video. That's coming in around $65 million roughly projected in escalated costs. And then the single point interchange that I mentioned, there's additional infrastructure investment with the bridge, the need for the bridge and the walls, that's $88 million. Where are we at in the project approval environmental document schedule, or PAD phase as we call it, with Caltrans? We received that notice to proceed late 2021. We've completed our first traffic analysis, that purpose and need alternative screening, the three alternatives we're seeing, and we've also analyzed vehicle miles traveled, which is connected to greenhouse gas impacts. Again, we've been able to screen out vehicle miles traveled or growth inducing of this project. Again, we're not adding additional capacity or through lanes, throughput. It's actually just operational improvements and turning movements that we're improving for the interchange for throughput. So currently, we're getting near the completion of geometrics in the set footprint shown in red there. And towards Q4, we can start all our major studies that I mentioned earlier in orange and our environmental tech studies in green. We'd be looking to probably circulate the environmental document near the spring or summer of 2025, and we would have a project approval and environmental document signed near the end of 2025. We're also looking for potential moving the project forward as we develop the alternatives to a selection and a final design and right-of-way happening maybe as early as 2024 to 2027 and construction 2028, 2029. As far as our current capital outlay support costs for the project, as Grace mentioned, project study report and project development support has already been completed. We're in the project approval phase currently. We've spent $1.5 million to this point, including the geometric improvements and working into the studies, so about 40% spent. And then we're looking forward to potentially moving the project into final plan specifications or final design and right away into those next years, $3.5 or $4 million budget into the future, not authorized at this point. As far as project funding, this is my last slide, hang in there. There's definitely opportunities here, but they are competitive. But I think our project has a good opportunity here, and we'll be looking at securing funding for construction later, not now, just as we start to really get in these first phases of development. But key elements that really increase our competitiveness here for the city and for the interchange would be we're increasing that truck throughput that we mentioned. We're decreasing the emissions in those greenhouse gases, or at least zero impact, supporting that multimodal freight from the March Air Force Base, and then investment in disadvantaged and low-income communities. With that said, that concludes my presentation. We'll open up for questions.
Thank you, Mark. Council, if anybody wants to speak, please use the queue. Can you bring back the slide that showed the prices on all three projects?
Pardon me?
The slide that has all the pricing on the three projects?
Yeah. So pricing is just one component.
No, I get it. I just
yeah,
want
yeah.
the terminology.
For sure, absolutely. Is that the slide you're looking for, Mayor?
Yep.
Awesome.
I don't see anybody in the queue, so I'll start. So diverging is the one that you showed us on the slide, right?
Correct, that's
Or the
video.
movie, the video. So there's not one interchange right now in the city of Paris that works well for us at all. And that, I like that one, I like the video, however, this particular bridge is gonna be for trucks as well. So obviously, this city that had that video, they didn't have trucks over there or in light industrial projects in that area. So I would really love to see some data behind that if there's anybody else doing this, which doesn't seem like it. But those other two projects, your tight diamond and your single point, is not gonna work for trucks. The best thing on here, my personal opinion, I'm not an engineer, but is the diverging. The other, and this is pretty comparable to what we see in other cities. In fact, just our very neighboring city, the Newport Bridge, or Newport Interchange, where it's a problem in the city of Paris is you have to cross over to get on either north or southbound. So in Menifee, you stay on your side and you do the loop to go northbound, right? What do they call it?
I think it's Clover. Is that
It's a partial clover interchange, basically, clover leaf.
So that works very well, in my opinion, personally. And I obviously, looking at your overhead, your view, there's no room for a clover, and there's too many projects in the intersection. So the diverging seems to be the best. That's continuous flow, same concept. I love that. But that's just showing cars. What's going to be the impact with trucks? So that would be the million-dollar question I would have. But anyway, that's it for me. There's still nobody in the queue, so I guess. Well, my machine must not be working. Go ahead.
I would just like to echo the mayor's sentiments regarding the truck traffic versus the single car traffic. I do see how the DDI model could reduce some of the traffic, because each day when I come on the 215 going north, a lot of the trucks that are going onto the 215 north, they kind of bunch up where that cement place is and that brick wall. So it creates a backup. If I leave at, say, 7:15, 7 o'clock, it creates a backup down the Ramona Expressway. We didn't have that a few years ago. So I do think moderating the traffic and putting them on the line could help alleviate that backup, because it usually backs up Ramona, sometimes Placentia, clears up, and then it's good up until about Alessandro, but that's further down the road. So I do think that would probably be the best bet if it can accommodate truck traffic. That's my comment.
So I can make one comment for the truck traffic. We have developed the geometrics to this point where we are taking truck traffic and we have what we call turning templates into account to make sure that they can make right, left turns to the speeds that we're designing the interchange.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councilman Corona.
Yeah, I personally haven't ever seen that in real life. The closest thing I came to was actually oddly enough in Mexico. There was like, where you go against the freeway or against the traffic and stuff like that. And for me, the first time it was weird. After that, I got used to it. But just seeing how that's going to work with trucks and stuff like that. Now, do we expect this to alleviate traffic on the 215?
So the interchange actually is working to alleviate mainly the traffic that is getting on and off the freeway. The freeway has its own capacity as far as the number of lanes and vehicles and volume on the freeway itself. So we probably won't see much of an adjustment as far as any kind of changes for improvements on I-215 for their capacity, for that capacity.
Now, I know Harley Knox was rated a grade F or something like that. Well, a while ago we got word on that. Will that improve this rating, or like could we use that to say, okay, now we could have more warehouses there, or is this just to kind of get it to a level that's sustainable and safe?
So with our studies, we had to do an in-depth traffic impact study, which is going to obviously take existing traffic volumes, grow them based on current and future needs as far as growth, and then we work that through traffic modeling software that shows us that with that growth, the delay based on the different types of interchanges we're proposing, and they all do meet the minimum criteria for what you were mentioning, level of service or delay at the interchange. That does get increased by basically the number of turns we're able to accommodate at the ramps, basically.
Okay. And then I know the pedestrian with Manteca, there was a weird thing going on, and you're saying that like we don't plan on doing that, but
Right.
I can't imagine a pedestrian using that entire interchange. How would that work?
Yeah, so that's the one thing that wasn't shown on there is the Manteca interchange was unique. Like I said, there was heavy active transportation users. That was known, so the ribbon really helped separate the people and vehicles from the active transportation users. In this case, all pedestrians, bicyclists, other active transportation users would still be on the Harley Knox over I-215. How it works is they come up to the first signal as you typically would on the outside, but you cross over to the middle, and then you're going through the middle of the over the high freeway. Basically, you're in the middle with barrier on both sides, basically to protect you. Again, low speeds. We're talking low speeds here with a diverging diamond interchange, 35 miles an hour or less. So there's a really good opportunity to still cross over very safely, and we're definitely looking at all multimodal activities, and that's part of our purpose and need of the project.
Okay. Now, I think the mayor said it best. We're not the traffic engineers here, right? But I mean, if the models say it works, it sounds kind of exciting. It might be the future for all interchanges in the future. So, pretty excited about it. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, I don't see anybody else in the queue. I had a comment and I just lost it. Oh, who is going to be the decision body on which way we go? This is a city-led project, but is it going to be RCTC, Caltrans, or the city?
So as we move forward with the project, all items, constraints, studies, they all need to be considered in an open and public forum for the environmental document. So there'll be criteria that is complemented with that process of the environmental phase and environmental document circulation. So you'll have all interested parties and invested community to allow to provide comments and show up to
Providing comment is
public
one
outreach.
thing. Which body is going to decide which way we go? Is it us, RCTC, or Caltrans?
Yeah, the city has obviously the ability to identify their preferred alternative, and then you have to work through the process with considering all opinions and analysis to understand what is the
All right,
best
all right,
alternative
Mark,
moving forward.
Mark, you are clearly ignoring my question. Mr. City Engineer, who is the ultimate authority to decide which way we go?
Well, primarily, city would be, would be the leading, so what we say counts. However, as Paul is trying to indicate, we have to make sure that all entities are in agreement.
I
as
get
well.
all that. We're gonna hear everybody. There's public hearing. Who has the final say-so? Is this a political thing you guys don't want to answer? I mean, city manager, do you have an answer?
So currently, the city is taking the lead on the project, which is the EIR. So ultimately, the EIR will need to be approved by the city of Paris with input from other agencies. However, we'll know more when we bring it back to you, if that is any different.
The next time this comes back to us, I want a clear answer as to who's going to identify which route we go.
Yes.
Because this is being paid by through our TUMP fees. You know, the city of Paris has the lead, so I would assume, Grace, you want to chime in?
Yes. So,
Please bring the microphone down.
thank you. So Caltrans is the lead for the CEQA and NEPA. So in partnership with the city, they will approve the, they'll approve the project and the environmental document. And then at that time, the alternative will be selected. And the selection is usually through a public input. So there will be a public hearing on, selection of the preferred alternative. And from there,
Led
Caltrans
by
will lead it.
Caltrans?
Yes. It's a requirement, yes.
No, I get it. But there's got to be an ultimate agency, legislative body, someone is going to make the final say-so as which way we're going to go, and that's what I want to
But
know.
the city is funding the.
And we're funding it.
NED phase, but because it's an interstate and, Caltrans is the lead on CEQA NEPA when it
Sounds like it's
comes
going to
in-
be Caltrans.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Grace. That's all I wanted to know. All right. Anybody else, council? Mark and Grace, thank you both for the presentations. Mr. City Engineer, was that it?
That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. All right, item 7, the long-awaited, sorry guys, but we're here now, and parents. This is our Youth Advisory Committee communications, which will be given by Juan Rodriguez, our Senior Recreation Coordinator. Juan?
Thank you, Mayor. Let me see. Okay. Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council and City staff, I am pleased to stand before you today as we celebrate a significant milestone, the 10th year anniversary of the Paris YIC Committee's presence in the City of Paris. My name is Juan Rodriguez, and I'm currently privileged to serve as the liaison for the City of Paris Youth Advisory Committee, an organization that embodies strength, endurance, and compassion, dedicated to nurturing and embracing leaders within our community. Tonight, we celebrate incredible achievements of 4 local high school students that graduated from local high schools and YIC: Alexa Flores, Noah Estrada, Michelle Riola, and Jasmine Lomeli, who have devoted their time and boundless energy to the Youth Advisory Committee. These outstanding individuals embody YIC's spirit of service and leadership, inspiring positive change in our community among their peers. We express our gratitude and recognize their immense potential to shape the brighter future of Paris. Thank you for your remarkable contributions, and we eagerly anticipate your continued success. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce to you the exceptional young individuals who sit before you. They have taken the oath to commit and dedicate their time to serving the city and as YIC members. Amid their restless schedules, they have chosen to prioritize raising awareness and providing resources for our local youth community. Mayor and esteemed staff members of the City Council and dedicated staff, I present to you the new class of the Youth Advisory Committee.
Hello, Mayor, City Council, and City staff. My name is Julie Salas. I'm a senior at Newbie Bridge Early College High School, and I'll be this year's president for the Youth Advisory Committee.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Tai, and I'm a junior at Paris High School, and I'll be serving as the YSC Vice President for this upcoming year.
Good evening. I'm Yaneli Torres Perez. I'm currently a senior at Paris High School, and I'll be serving as your Vice President for this upcoming year of YSC.
Good evening. My name is Marissa Mendoza. I currently attend Paris High School as a senior, and I will be this coming year's secretary.
Good evening. My name is Heidi Guillen. I am a junior at Orange Vista High School and also a middle college student, and I will be serving as YAC's treasurer for this upcoming year.
Hello, my name is Melanie Lopez. I'm a sophomore at Newbie Bridge Early College High School, and this year I am historian. Good evening. I am Amy Reynoso. I am a 10th grader. I go to Orange Vista High School, and I will be serving as a YAC representative this year.
Hi, I'm Andy Nguyen. I am an 11th grader at Orange Vista High School, and I'll be a YC representative this year.
Good evening. My name is Brandon Prescott. I am a junior at Orange Vista High School, and I will be this year's YAC representative.
Good evening. My name is Giovanni Villanueva. I'm a junior at Orange Vista High School, and I will be a representative for this year's YAC.
Good evening. My name is Isaac Mancia. I attend Orange Vista High School as a junior, and I will be a YAC representative this year.
Good evening. My name is Jelani Aguirre. I'm a junior at Orange Vista High School, and I'll be a representative this year for YAC.
Hello, my name is Mireya Estrada. I'm a junior attending Paris High School, and this year I'll be serving secretary for this year's YAC.
Hello, my name is Omar Belmonte. I'm a junior at Orange Vista High School, and I will be a representative for this year's YAC.
Hello, my name is Pedro Morales. I'm a junior at Paris High School, and I will be a representative for the YAC this upcoming year.
Good evening. My name is Veronica Marin. I am going to Santa Rosa Academy for 7th grade, and I'm going to be a representative this year.
Hi, my name is Victoria Vallon. I'm a senior at Orange Vista High School, and I will be serving as a representative.
Good evening. My name is Victoria Valdez Sosa. I'm a freshman at CMI, and I'm going to be representative for this YAC year.
Hello, my name is Esmeralda Santos Morales, and I am a junior from Orange Vista High School. This year, I am a member at large for YAC. Good evening. My name is Yvonne Vega. I am a junior at Orange Vista High School, and I will be a member at large for this upcoming year.
Good evening. My name is Monica Valdivia. I am a senior at Paris High School, and I'll be a representative this upcoming school year.
Good evening. I'm Sara Tanus, and I go to CMI. I am a 9th grader, and I'll be a member at large for this YAC's upcoming year.
Hi, I'm Sela Palarana, and I am a 7th grader at Pinacati Middle School, and I will be a member at large for this upcoming YAC year.
At this moment, we do want to invite the mayor and council to take some pictures with the YAC. Thank you.
group.
So much already.
Right. All right, guys, just stretch it out just a little bit and let the council members come in. Just scoot this way with me. This way.
Come in.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Gonna spread it out just a bit. And then we're gonna scooch it back just a bit. And we're gonna use those council members right
And parents, Phil, you can come up. You don't have to take pictures from sitting over there. I only charge $5 a shot. Hey, congratulations to all of you. This is our biggest class yet since I've been a mayor. So we got CMI, Orange Vista, Paris, Santa Rosa Academy. Where is that? In Menifee? Who else did I miss? Penicotti, New View Bridge. Awesome, very good. All right, where do you want us? You and I get along real good. She's shorter than me.
Just a half a step if you can. Perfect. All right, guys, here we go. Ready, 1, 2. Everybody look up. Gorgeous. Don't blink. Awesome. Congratulations.
To your left. All the parents to the left.
Good. Or go to the light.
Congratulations, everybody. And that is a wet signature. I signed all those by hand. Corporal Tunnel. Hey, where's the 4 kids that are aging out? Where are the 4 kids that are aged out? Or college? They're already gone? There's only 4 of them?
Yeah, this last year was
Did that be a big class?
Yeah, yeah.
So those are the kids we want to reach out and give a key to.
Okay, we can arrange that. Okay.
Okay, it's awesome. Anybody want, any comments before we move on? Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, congratulations. I know this is a really busy time for you all. So the fact that you took time to embark in being a part of YAC is a huge accomplishment for you, and I know it's going to be a great resume builder. I also wanted to go ahead and thank our staff. This is our largest group we've seen. So the fact that you've promoted, and I know that there's a lot of good word of mouth about how great YAC is. So thank you so much to our staff for growing this program. And we'll definitely consider more funding, I'm sure. We're happy to allocate that your way.
It's recorded, guys.
Yes, I know it's needed, and we want you all to have a great program this 2023-2024. So thank you all so much. And if I could ever be of service, don't hesitate to reach out. So thank you so much.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Councilman Corona?
All right, I think, just staff, great job for picking these individuals. You know, it's a really great group. I'm gonna say, I know other past years might be upset. I know Noah's here, but I'm gonna say that I think this is gonna be the best year that they've had so far. Just by the group of kids. I mean, it's a lot of students that have returned, and with a lot of new faces too. And I can mostly speak on the ones for Paris High. It's really a phenomenal group that they have, and the kids that are returning for Orange Vista. I know all the work that they're going to put into. We're very happy to support it, and just great job to Juan and Lou and Kimberly and with the rest of the team that's involved. Thank you.
Councilwoman Rogers?
I just want to thank each and every one of you for volunteering to make this city a better place. We truly value your input, your ability to volunteer at all of our events, and your enthusiasm. And I can say without a doubt, since I've been here since 2013, that you are the largest class we've ever had. And congratulations.
Councilman Rab?
Yes, my colleagues have touched all the bases. Congratulations to the largest class. It's amazing how much time has passed. I've been able to see over the last almost 9 years on the council all the great things the Youth Advisory Committee has done, and I know you guys will continue that tremendous legacy.
All right, congratulations, young men and ladies, for joining. You'll be seeing me here and there. Got a lot of work to do ahead of time. You guys are going to be busy, and I know your coordinator, Juan, and all the team here from our community services teams are going to be right there next to you. So I stopped by yesterday. I was very impressed with that air gun with the marker, what it does for your graffiti art class. Anyway, congratulations, and we'll be seeing you. All right, moving on to item 8 is our public comment. This is the time when any member of the public may bring a matter to the attention of the mayor and the city council that is within our jurisdiction, and will be limited to 3 minutes. We'll give a couple of minutes here to let the room clear out. Did you have anybody to speak at this time? Okay. All right, Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, sir. Bill Lamb?
Come on up, Bill.
Good evening, Mayor Vargas, members of the City Council. I'm Bill Lamb from the Southern California Railway Museum. Last August, we tried something new that we have not tried before. Hot August Nights, which was a car show and other activities. However, we also invited a tropical storm. And as a result, our attendance was not what we had anticipated. We're going to try it again next year without the tropical storm. Coming up this Saturday is Paris Appreciation Day. We started it a number of years ago to thank the city, the council, and the residents for their support of the museum over the years. Without your support, we would not be where we are. So we invite people to come out, ride trains for free that day, and we've invited other activities, so come out and have a good time. Then on the 30th of September, we're having a new event, which is Mighty Machines, which is allowing kids and adults, if they want, to get up close and touch, feel, and observe various large pieces of equipment, ranging from construction equipment up through railroad equipment. We look forward to that. During October, we're transitioning. The first 2 weekends of November and Veterans Day, we have a day out with Thomas. We have Thomas, we have Percy, we have a petting zoo, we have other activities. It's always a big event. And then, as soon as that event is over, we realign everything and we get ready for Polar Express. This year, Polar Express is starting a couple of days after Thomas leaves. So the fun is there, but it's an event with bells, with activities, with trees, with decorations. It's a very enjoyable event. So That's what's coming up this fall. And again, I want to thank the council and the city for their support over the years.
Excellent, thank you, Bill, appreciate it. Anybody else?
Parissa Jabali.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council members. My name is Parissa Jabali. I will be speaking on behalf of the Paris Valley Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. The Paris Valley Chamber is excited to open the 2023-2024 Student of the Month program tomorrow, September 13th. This is a longstanding partnership with the Menifee Valley Chamber and local business Sizzler. As always, we thank the City of Paris for your continued support of this program. We will also be celebrating the grand opening of 2 new businesses in Paris Thursday, September 14th. We celebrate with LNS Auto Works, then on Friday, September 15th, we'll celebrate Silver Creek Modular, the largest manufacturer of modular buildings in California. Lastly, we will have the annual Paris Appreciation Day on Saturday, September 16th. We will be honoring over 60 local students with Paris Pride Youth Awards. As always, the Chamber is here to support your local businesses. Please visit our website at parischamber.net or follow us on Instagram at paris.chamber.
Thank you.
That is all.
Anybody in the audience at this time wishing to speak on any matter not listed on our agenda? All right, we'll move on to item 9, which is our approval of minutes. 9A is to consider to approve the minutes of the special joint meeting held on August 29, 2023 of the City Council and all the other agencies as listed on our agenda. I have a motion by Councilwoman Nava, Mayor Pro Tem Nava, second by Councilwoman Rogers. Please call a vote.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. 9B is consideration to approve the minutes of the regular joint meeting held on August 29th, 2023 of the City Council and all the other agencies as listed on our agenda. I have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers, second by Mayor Pro Tem Nava. Please call a vote.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. Item 10, consent calendar. Consent calendar items are normally enacted in one motion. The mayor or city council may remove a consent calendar item for a separate action. We will have public comment, limited to 3 minutes. Council, does anybody have anything they want to pull for discussion or separate votes? All right, hearing none, Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
No, sir.
All right, that being said, I'll entertain a motion to approve. I have a motion by Councilman Corona, second by Councilman Rab. Please call a vote.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. Item 11 is our public hearings. 11A is consideration of a continuance of this item to the September 26, 2023 City Council meeting regarding a specific plan amendment, SPA 21-05267, tentative partial map 21-05086, TPM 38259, and a development plan review, DPR 21-00005, which is a proposal to consider the following entitlements to facilitate the construction of a 764,753 square foot industrial building on 35.63 acres located on the south side of Harley Knox between Patterson Avenue and Nevada Avenue within the general industrial and light industrial zones of the Paris Valley Commerce Center specific plan. This is going to be introduced by our Director of Development Services, Mr. Kenneth Fung.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. The applicant requested a continuance. They're still working with staff with the 3 late letters that were provided just before the last council meetings. So that's still being worked through right now. In addition, just want to note there was an additional letter that was provided by Golden State Alliance before the meeting, and that, just in summary, is the same, very similar letter that was previously provided, and we provided a written response. When it goes back to the next council meeting, we'll kind of package all that response together when it gets, with the approval of the council to continue the 26th meeting.
All right, thank you. Council, anybody have any comments or questions for clarification? All right, so, yeah. So, hearing that, and then I'm going to open up the public hearing, even though we're moving this item, but I'll still allow for people to talk if they came to talk. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, sir. Kelila Federman.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. My name is Kalila Federman on behalf of CARE California. CARE California has participated in the project's environmental review process since December 2022. We submitted written comments to the city which explain that the project still fails to comply with state and local law and cannot be approved until the city prepares a legally adequate environmental review document. In particular, the project fails to comply with the California Environmental Quality Act because the project results in potentially significant environmental impacts that were not fully analyzed or mitigated as required by law, including unmitigated impacts on air quality, public health, and from construction noise. The final EIR does not resolve a number of issues raised in CARE California's comments, and we hope the city engages during the continuance to respond to those comments. For example, the risk of valley fever exposure is significant for on-site construction workers and for the neighboring community. Valley fever is a disease caused by fungus that grows in the soil and dirt in Riverside County and other parts of Southern and Central California. People can get extremely sick when they breathe in dust that contains the valley fever fungus, which can cause respiratory and pulmonary morbidities and even mortalities. Construction workers are at a particularly high risk of exposure due to close contact with soil and dust. CARE California's air quality consultant, Dr. James Clark, found that the conventional dust control measures included in the EIR would not adequately reduce the risk of exposure to valley fever spores, creating a significant public health impact. The FEIR fails to include feasible valley fever mitigation recommended by Dr. Clark. This impact remains significant and unmitigated. CARE California's noise consultant also found that the project has significant unmitigated noise impacts associated with construction and operational noise that are significant and unmitigated for people living and working near the project site. For these reasons and those discussed in our comment letters, the City Council cannot make the necessary findings to approve the project. For one, the Paris Municipal Code provides that no parcel map shall be considered filed until all provisions of CEQA have been complied with. Here, all provisions of CEQA had not been complied with due to the city's failure to prepare a legally adequate EIR, which analyzes and mitigates all the project's potentially significant impacts. Thus, the City Council cannot make the required findings to approve the project, the tentative parcel map, or the development plan review, or the specific plan amendment for the project. The city must revise and recirculate the EIR to accurately reflect the project's significant environmental impacts and mitigate the impacts to the greatest extent feasible. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
That is all.
Anybody else at this time wishing to speak on this matter? All right, we're going to keep the public hearing open. I'm going to call for a motion continuing, unless council, anybody have any questions, I'm going to ask for a motion to continue the item until September 26, 2023, which is our next city council meeting. I have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers, second by Councilman Rabb. Please call the vote.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. All right, 11B is consideration to adopt proposed resolution number next in order denying the specific plan amendment 19-05287 and development plan review 19-00012, a proposal to rezone 15.6 acres of commercial zone to light industrial zone to facilitate the development of a 347,918 square foot industrial building located on the southwest corner of Ramona Expressway between Indian Avenue and Paris Boulevard. The applicant is PR Partners LLC. This item was continued from the August 29, 2023 City Council meeting. And this is going to be introduced by Director of Development Services, Mr. Kenneth Fung.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. This project will be presented by our planner, contract planner, Chantel Powers.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. It's good to be here again with you tonight. As the Honorable Mayor just mentioned, the project consists of a specific plan amendment, development plan review, and an environmental impact report. As you can see, the project is located on the southwest corner of Paris Boulevard and Ramona Expressway and is surrounded on all other three corners by commercial uses. The project proposes to only rezone a portion of the project site to accommodate an industrial project and will leave about a 2-acre project site fronting Paris Boulevard for commercial uses. As you can see, the project is located in the APZ 2 and C1 MARB airport map zones. The Planning Commission considered this project and recommended denial of the original proposal based on the fact that the original proposal would have eliminated all of the commercial use along Paris Boulevard and thus would have created a break in that commercial corridor that the Commission and the Council have expressed desire to retain. On July 26th of last year, the City Council heard the project, including the Planning Commission and staff's recommendation to deny the project as proposed. During the deliberation, the applicant requested continuance of the project in order to revise the project to address those concerns that had been raised. Since then, the revised project now consists of requests to rezone 13.6 acres of the total 15.6 acre site to accommodate a smaller warehouse and retention of 2 acres for commercial uses along Paris Boulevard to maintain Paris Boulevard as a commercial corridor. As you can see, this is the proposed site now, as it has been revised, which consists of a smaller industrial building and 2 small commercial buildings fronting Paris Boulevard. You'll want to note the red dashed line shows the distinction between the 2 different airport land use zone designations. The APZ2, which is the majority portion of the industrial building, is the more restrictive of the 2 and restricts specifically density more than the other side. And you can see that the top corner of the industrial building there is located in the less intensive airport zone, and that will contain the offices.
Can you be more specific on the uses on that zone, with the bigger zone?
The commercial zone?
No. The high, you just said high density. Can you explain what can be built on that section?
On the APZ2 or the C1 zone?
The 2 zone.
In the more restrictive zone?
Yes.
Primarily industrial uses, very, very low density commercial uses. You cannot have any residential uses there. So it's pretty restrictive. There's not really a lot that you can do.
No retail.
Primarily because, retail would be almost impossible on a site that size. You would have to have a very, very small building because the restrictions are based on basically the clustering or density of people at any given time. And so that's why the industrial building makes the most sense in that case.
Just follow up to that. Are there any, like what you said, low density? What are some examples of low density commercial applications? Like a car lot? Is that?
Potentially a car lot. I don't know of any car lots that are 13.6 acres, but you could potentially have a car lot. Possibly a nursery, maybe a storage, like a mini storage facility.
Self-storage.
Uses like that, yeah, that really don't have a lot of people there.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. So here you can see the comparison between the original proposal and what is now proposed. And you can see also there'll be some enhanced landscaping along Paris Boulevard there. This rendering shows the combined elevation of the commercial and industrial projects together, taken from the corner of Paris and Ramona. And this perspective is looking west just at the industrial portion. You'll just want to note quickly that the elevations for the industrial project have been designed to incorporate more commercial architectural elements, such as the spandrel glass and the additional kind of eyebrows on those windows. Commercial, this little pop-out here at the bottom shows the southernmost sort of an enhanced rendering of the southernmost commercial building on that commercial site. Subsequent to the Planning Commission action to deny and the additional concerns that were raised by the council, the applicant has agreed to some of the following conditions, or actually all of the following conditions. So one is the community recreation amenity fee, as noted in the staff report, at $915,000 for parks. The applicant has actually agreed to pay $875,000 due to the smaller size of the proposed industrial building. They've also agreed to enhanced corner monumentation at the southwest corner of Paris Boulevard and Ramona Expressway. That'll be in connection with the commercial portion of the project site, as well as off-site tree planting pursuant to the Planning Commission recommendations for industrial projects. And the applicant has also agreed to phase the project in a way that would ensure at least one commercial tenant will be fully operational prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for the industrial project. Staff received a letter from the Golden State Environmental Justice Alliance dated September 7th. I believe that was distributed to council members today, in addition to the staff response, which noted that none of the comments in the letter addressed any potential impacts that were not already addressed in the project FEIR, and therefore would not constitute a recirculation of the EIR. With that, staff is carrying forward the Planning Commission recommendation to adopt a resolution based on the findings and attached exhibits to not certify the environmental impact report and deny specific plan amendment and the development plan review, or since the applicant has modified the project to address the concerns of the council and commission, as well as staff, if the city council wishes to approve the project as proposed, the city council may adopt a resolution to certify the environmental impact report, adopt the mitigated monitoring and reporting program, and approve alternative 2 for development plan review 19-00012, subject to the approval of the specific plan amendment, and introduce the first reading of the ordinance to approve specific plan amendment 19-05287. I can take any questions. The applicant is also here and has a presentation and is available for questions as well.
Thank you, Chantel. Council, before we start doing any questions on it, let me go ahead and open up the public hearing, see if we have any committee members would like to speak? Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
No, sir.
Is there anybody in the audience wishing to speak on this item? All right, I'm going to call on the applicant for his presentation. I'll call one more time for public comment, and then we'll close public comment and have our deliberation. Sounds good, Mr. Koo?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Berger, you're up.
Honorary Mayor and ladies and gentlemen of the City Council and staff, thank you for hearing us again today. Our presentation is really the report that Chantal has put forward. We provided all the slides and all the renderings and all the pictures of that. I'm happy to answer any questions about what we presented. That was the presentation. Unfortunately, our consultant had significant tooth surgery that has taken him, put him on the DL for the night. But it was his recommendation that we primarily let Chantal and staff make the presentation, and we provided all the colored pictures for that. So I don't have additional information, but I am here to answer any questions and clarify. But I will say that we took into consideration what was discussed about 15 months ago. We spent a lot of time with the staff, and we think we came up with a really nice plan that can be done. My partner and I have committed to financing it, self-financing it, so we'll get on the commercial right away. I mean, financing is very challenging out there, so we're going to self-fund it, so we'll make it happen. It's not a myth, it's going to happen. We think once we have approval, we'll be able to quickly get a lease or two done and get plans and then go build it. Well, I know we'll have to come back to do a CUP, but we're prepared to do that. But we're prepared to move immediately on the commercial and get that done. And we think we'll think we can attract good tenants. We're talking to a few now that have interest but are waiting for us to be fully entitled so that they can focus their attention on us. And assuming that we get that, we'll get right on that and quickly move forward on the commercial side of things. So I'm here to answer any questions or provide clarification, but that really was our presentation.
Very good, Mr. Berger, thank you. Councilman Rabb, you have...
Yes, a question followed up by a comment regarding the commercial retail building. Too, I have the rendering of the south elevation. Do you know how large this sidewalk will be in the front of the building in terms of width? Does anybody?
The sidewalk. Do you have the sidewalk there? Lars is our head of construction and head of sidewalks now officially.
Okay.
It's quite wide, Councilman, probably 15 feet at this point, because we have a lot of, that site had a lot of extra space, so we use it around the building with patio and the sidewalk.
Well, in terms of the sidewalk that's right in front of the three buildings, it looks kind of narrow.
Trust me, we had to take out the drive-throughs because that's a separate thing, so that altered the look of the building, but we'll have significant size there.
Okay, then this is just a comment for staff. It may be a small detail, but for the staff members working with the developer, look at the Evergreen project where the yogurt land, Chipotle, all that is. That sidewalk in front of there is so narrow. People are walking back between the Popeyes and all that. It doesn't make any sense to have such a narrow sidewalk in front.
Are you referring like literally in front of the
I'm giving an
stores?
example. Yeah, the sidewalk in front of the store. So it's minute. We're going into the weeds, but
It's a valid point.
and that's one of my pet peeves with that sidewalk in front of the yogurt land, Waba Grill. It should have been about 5 feet
It doesn't
long.
allow for tables and chairs.
And people walking back and forth. You
Right.
can't go side by side. So otherwise, you guys.
I know the site you're referring to, Dave, and we have a much wider facility there. We have a much bigger piece of property to work with there. And once the drive-through is incorporated, we didn't do that because it's necessary to go through staff and CUP. We understand that. I think we're going to build something that is functional and that'll make sense. And I'm sensitive to that. I've been to that where the Chipotle's on the end and the little. It is pretty narrow. I'd hope to be double that size because I think that's only around 5 feet. It is a little tight if you get more than 2 or 3 people walking cross traffic.
Okay. And thank you for taking that into consideration.
And
But
one
otherwise,
point.
I appreciate you guys.
One point, we have created patio areas that you'll see that are at the ends of the buildings so they could have easy ingress, egress to the building, to keep it away from the front.
Okay, and I appreciate you guys working with our staff over the last 15
Oh,
months.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Councilman Corona?
Thank you, Mayor. Question for Chantel. Yeah. So I know this came to Planning Commission, they denied it because, you know, we were giving up all this, commercial land that's valuable to the city at such a prominent location. Now, for this new item, I mean, it's essentially a redo, right? I mean, they took out a lot of it. The architecture, has that changed at all? Like there's some of the, you know, because I know the Planning
Not
Commission.
much.
Okay.
The architecture was always designed to be a little more enhanced because it was so close to the existing commercial corridor. So that's remained. It's just a reduced footprint now for the industrial
Okay.
site. Yeah.
Okay. You know, I know the Planning Commission does a great job of kind of just find you know, kind of taking everything into consideration, how this is going to look. And we you know, they haven't seen this new project.
Well, we did add epay wood on a number of the windows and also on the tops of the industrial building, particularly at the corner. We added that crowning, like GFRC at the top, if you look
Okay.
at the top there.
So that's different from before?
Well, it's somewhat, it's the same, but it's a little more.
Enhanced?
It's an enhancement?
More enhanced, I would say,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Now, how come this didn't go back to Planning Commission? Is there kind of a reason for that? Is that normal? I mean,
We did the same thing there was another project on Paris Boulevard north of Ramon Expressway, I think where the Amazon is. We had a similar situation where we approved it at the council through a condition saying that they'll work with staff to do what they call a minor mod or administrative development plan review. And so that was the standard that we established for another project that we approved here at council.
so because we did it that's like the new standard? Essentially?
It could be, or the council can request some other options.
But let me chime in real quick, though, too. They didn't really deny the style of the work. The denial was.
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
The denial was taking out the commercial part.
Right, but
So I think we're
yeah.
good with the renderings as far
Okay,
as
well, with the actual warehouse, yeah, but when now we have this new shopping center, that's a very prominent location. I mean, I don't drive there every day. You do, your family does, but I don't drive there every day. But I can tell you, I mean, Ramona Expressway and Paris Boulevard, there's not many corners that are more busy than that specific corner. So my concern is that we're not taking it back to the Planning Commission, who's really the ones that we put in charge to really kind of take a look and analyze every last minute detail. For example, in the conditions of approval on number 27, you know, enhanced corner monumentation at the southeast corner of Indian Avenue and Ramona. Well, was that supposed to be? I think Paris Boulevard and Ramona. It said in there that monumentation consisting of multi-layer landscaping, water feature, and signage identifying the development. I don't see any water feature in there. So was that kind of optional, or is that?
That was a condition because I believe someone mentioned it. So the plan was to work with staff to finalize the detail, but the monument, the signage is on that plan that you see here on that slide.
Okay, so it's not going to have any water feature at all?
The plan is for it to have some sort of water feature, and it's up for the council to discuss more detail, but the plan is to have some sort of water feature at the corner.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, that was my second location for our marquee, which would include signage, City of Paris, and having our marquee up there for the North End folks, as opposed to a water feature.
Oh, like you talk about like
The digital
a video,
billboard.
a digital video, okay.
I will make a quick note there about water features. Depending on what is proposed, it's something that could potentially be denied by ALUC
Yeah.
if it attracts
Birds.
wildlife that
Okay.
could be a hazard. Yeah, so we'd have to want to keep it like pretty low scale, but
Yeah,
the
yeah, it
digital
doesn't-
sign should be great.
It doesn't have to be large, but I think my concern was as we develop these corners that are so prominent, what we're doing is we are taking away the view that I grew up with in the city of Paris that, I was able to see all the mountains. I could see the dam from the lake, and now I can't see any of that. So we took out the nature and replaced it with concrete buildings. I'm not saying that you're personally responsible for that, right? It's just, yeah, to take a look at that corner, it's not, it's not really doing. I guess it's more facing eastward. But my concern is that we're taking away nature. And the views that we've had for so long in our community. And I was just thinking a water feature. When I go to the other communities, they're all about it, right? When I go to Temecula, I mean, you just see all the landscaping and all kinds of stuff. And there's no warehouses over there, but they still manage and condition the developers over there to do it. I think with this, we should expect even a higher standard with that. And my third kind of concern that I have was that yes, I do appreciate that you guys did bring some commercial. I do appreciate that. But with the last project, last large project that we were doing a rezone that I could think of was DECA, and they at least had LOIs in place, but you don't have anybody that's committed yet.
We don't, but we've done a lot of retail over the years, and we're quite confident, and we're in negotiations with a couple of tenants. I talked to them, and they did not want to be disclosed yet, but they're well-known tenants with multiple brands, and they want to be here. But until we're entitled, it's pretty difficult to get their commitments because they've gotten involved in projects that haven't gotten done, either because the entitlements didn't happen, or I'm not talking about this city, but in other cities, where the financing wasn't available. But we have letters of intent out that are close to being done. That's why I'm saying I'm committing to the fact that we were going to build this relatively quickly. They're good tenants, and they're national tenants, and I think they'll be very successful here. But we still have to work through the final details and the final costs and such. But we know that our job is to get the commercial open before we can really even start on the industrial. That's going to be our approach here.
Okay.
Because we can't take any chances. We want to get those retailers open. And that corner, as you said, Mr. Corona, is a strong corner, and we have a lot of interest in it. But we're limited in the size, so that limits that, what we can do because
Right,
of,
which is
because of
understandable.
all the constraints that are within that corner. But we have good access now with the U-turn and the right-hand turn. We're grateful for that accommodation that the city helped us and staff helped us with in getting access. So we're very confident. And I think we'll get a deal done fairly quickly that we'll have to bring back to staff and such for a CUP and further review. And with respect to the sign and the project in general, I mean, my partner and I have been in business for 38 years. We've done a lot of projects. They're all very high quality. We're long-term holders, and we're going to build a high-quality project here. I'd put it up against any project. I mean, we like quality, and we want to build to the highest level possible. And I know we can work out things on the sign. I know everything's going to work out in terms of the quality of the buildings. We're not going to do a cheap-looking building. It's not our style. It never has been.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. But I can tell you, I mean, I've heard the same thing from developers that stood exactly where you are, and they promised the world, and they didn't it was just, as soon as they got the warehouse, they ran away.
Well,
so I'm not saying it's going to be you, Mr. Berger, but
I've
I
been
can
here-
tell you, it's very hard to, a lot of people kind of made all these promises, and then,
Right. Well, I've owned the property for 17 years. I'm committed.
Okay.
And I intend to own it longer, and we will do a good job. And if you go on my website, you'll see the quality that I'm talking about. We've done a lot of great projects. So, and we still own a number of them, and we'll continue to do so. So we bought the properties, we love the location, we just, the constraints came afterwards, and we're doing our best to work within those. And we addressed the concerns that staff and council had at the last meeting, and we created a commercial project that I think will be outstanding, and we're committed to building it, self-funding as necessary to do it.
Right, and no, I know, and I definitely agree.
And we'll have good
It's-
tenants.
Yeah, it's definitely much better than the original project. But I want to thank staff for working with them. But I know DECA, they had, I mean, they were in your position, but they were able to still get LOIs, and so I'm just kind of.
Well, we're negotiating LOIs, but we haven't agreed to them yet. So, but we're close.
Gotcha. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. That's all for me.
Anybody else?
Mayor, if I
Counsel.
may, I just want to make a clarification, if I may. Thank you, Mayor. Just to clarify, the elevations for the commercial component were never brought to the Planning Commission. The only thing that the Planning Commission reviewed was the elevations for the industrial. Now, the Planning Commission made a recommendation to the council, which is why it's here today, along with the elevations as a result of the comments from the last council meeting. And now the elevations could be approved, the project could be approved today as is, with going back to staff for final review of the elevations, or they can go back to the Planning Commission if the council wishes to do so.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you. I wanted to add to that. So you mentioned that you've had this property for 17 years and the constraints came afterwards. What constraints are you
Well,
referring to?
primarily the ALUC constraints,
Okay.
the Airport Land Use Commission. That came after we purchased it. That was the big one.
Okay. And then somewhere along those years, you decided that you were to push for a rezone, correct? But you purchased the property knowing that it was zoned.
I purchased the property knowing that we'd have to do a rezone what was commercial, but it was sort of an overlay commercial. It was primarily ag, and we purchased it knowing that we'd have to go through a process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's something that I've been very skeptical during my time on council, is that more and more developers are getting comfortable with requesting these rezones when they've purchased a property knowing what it was zoned for. So another comment that I'd like.
This is 15 years later that I requested the rezone. I mean, it's not like I planned it. I mean, we knew at some point that it was a good intersection. It had a commercial overlay. We wanted to try and do a shopping center. I have many plans for a 135,000 square foot or 140,000 square foot shopping center, but we never got the home population to do that. And then we had all the ALUC considerations that came in. Well, 2008, 2009, 2010 was a very rough time for all of the country and housing in general. So we had to kind of regroup because of losing tenants and then the ALUC considerations and then the inability to build what we had wanted to plan there. So it wasn't some grand plan.
Mark, just for clarification, though, when you bought the property, ALUC was not around.
That's correct.
It was a commercial overlay.
Correct.
Spot, so he bought it thinking that's.
That we were going to do a commercial project.
I'm saying this because that was one of my first two meetings when I made mayor, was Mark, 'cause he was very upset because now all of a sudden he can't build what he bought to build. That's
correct.
That's what he builds, is strip malls, or strip shopping centers. He thought he was gonna do a strip shopping center, and then ALUC.
That's correct. We've built 40 or 50 shopping centers. We've only done one or two industrial buildings. That's a fact.
Got it.
So that was a late audible, given the economic challenges, but primarily the ALUC, where you could build one small building per acre, and it became infeasible with nobody going there. So
Right.
that became unfeasible for us, and therefore we had to, 15 years later, start pursuing this other zone change, because there really is no other alternative.
And that's where I feel, I beg to differ. And as was mentioned during our last council meeting when this project came up, this is a really important corridor for our city, Ramona and Paris Boulevard. And although you did change your plans from then, one thing that I'm still concerned about is that the Ramona area, parallel to that, we just have industrial projects right along to that. And that corner isn't in that APZ2 zone. So rather than getting a little bit more, pushing the building back or making it smaller, I still feel like you gave us just enough of what we were pitching to you, and I feel like there's still more potential. Like I mentioned, this is a really busy corridor, and it breaks our commercial plans there. So I would like to see, given that you have extensive years of experience, and I know that we say that it's very limited to what we can do, but there are options, and that's something that I'd like to continue exploring before considering this project. So that's all I have. Thank you.
With all due respect, we've maxed out the site to meet parking and to meet ALUC considerations. And we work closely with ALUC and staff to do just that. We've maxed it out. I know people want more, but we can't really deliver more than what we're proposing there to make it work from a parking standpoint, for food, and for the ALUC occupants. There are still constraints within that zoning. It's not free zoning. It's not totally, do whatever you want. We still have certain considerations, and we certainly have parking. We're not trying to underbuild it. Most developers want to max it out, and we feel that we have maxed it out. We're not underselling it. We're trying to get the max that we can out of it.
Any
So
other
I
questions?
just beg to differ with you. We have a difference of opinion there, but we spent a lot of time on it. It's been 15 months since our last hearing, and we've done a lot of planning on it and worked through it, and this is about this is kind of maxing out what we can do on the site to meet all the different constraints we do have.
All right, thank you, Mark. We got more questions. Councilwoman Rogers?
I don't really have any questions. I just have some comments to make. I appreciate that you've worked with staff to listen to the council's concern, that you've made provisions for the occupancy of a tenant in the commercial before you get the certificate of occupancy for the industrial. And I know that corner is a premier corner, but with the restrictions of ALUC, as you stated, there's not a lot that can be done there. And I know from just hearing yesterday at our WRCOG meeting that the industrial contributions to our temp zone for the infrastructure throughout the region has been the most highest it's ever been. So there is some value with utilizing the property and getting the flood out of that area as well. And I support the project.
Thank you. Chantel, can you bring us back to the slide where it shows the APZ Zone 2? All right, that's perfect. So the one on top, that's the north corner, right?
Say that again?
The picture on the north side, on top of this slide,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
the north side of the street?
No. The picture on
Project?
the top is the initial proposal.
Oh, okay.
So this is a comparison between what was originally proposed
So I
and then
just, thank
what's
you.
proposed now.
Got it,
Yeah.
thank you. So that line goes straight across from Ramona to the north. So on that opposite, these premier corners that you guys are stipulating, that's the Arco, and then we have a car wash around it. And that's all you can do in that corner because the rest is on the APZ zone. Same as when you come down here, this is not a significant, beautiful view. This is a horrible area. I know because I live up there. I call it Lake Paris #2. It gets flooded. We get a lot of bugs flying around there. So this is a needed improvement, and they're restricted, and he maxed the entire corner out of commercial, which is 2.2 acres exactly, I guess, right? There's nothing else he can do from the left. It's industrial, unfortunately, because of the restrictions that we have from the March Air Force Base, not based on what we do here as a city, but it's the base, again, dictating what we can and cannot do in our city. So he came back, did everything as Councilwoman Rogers mentioned. The only thing I would like, Mark, if you can please consider our digital billboard on the north end, because that was the original corner I was pinpointing to happen. I'm pushing to have 4 throughout our city, 2 downtown, 1 in the south, and 1 in the north. I don't really see a water feature because of the drought purposes and more concerns about the birds involved with the landing of our planes.
The rendering of the sign was just an idea that
Right.
we came up with. We know that we're going to work with staff and with input from the council on the sign, and we'll try and come up with the best sign possible that meets the needs.
I'm not
of-
looking for a sign, I'm looking for a digital billboard.
A digital billboard.
Thank you. All right, I'll call for public comment one more time. Don't go away, Mark, because I'm gonna have one final question for you. Anybody at this time from the audience wishing to speak? All right, so at this point, I'm gonna close the public hearing at 8:22. And Mark, the last question I have to you is, I want to confirm that you have read and agreed with all the conditions of approval, even though we're still going to be talking to staff and work, but I want to make sure that you have read and understood them.
I have.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. At this time, I will call for a motion on,
Oh, sorry, I had another question.
yes.
For Kenneth or whoever could answer.
Mark, you can sit down.
I did have a question on the coming in and out of the shopping center. I know that there's a right turn from Ramona Expressway. How do you get out of there? Do you have to go on Paris Boulevard and make a left turn? Is there going to be a?
Councilman Corona, correct. The access to the commercial site from Ramona Expressway is a right-in only.
Right in only? Okay.
Correct.
So if
And
you're coming
then-
from the stores, or I'm sorry, from the homes nearby, which is gonna be east of that, and you're coming down, you'd have to make a left turn on Paris Boulevard
Correct.
to then
Def-
make a right turn. Okay.
Correct, to
How,
get into the
okay.
site.
How about to leave the site? How do you leave the site?
The egress from the site would be from Paris Boulevard, and that would be a right out only as well.
Right out only.
Only, correct, because there's an existing raised median
Okay.
on Paris Boulevard.
Oh, wow, okay. So then they have to find another, is there gonna be a U-turn down south of that from, on Paris Boulevard?
On Paris Boulevard, correct. Further
If they wanna
south,
get
there would
out and
be
then
a-
go, okay.
If they want to go northbound on Paris Boulevard, correct.
Okay, all right. You know, with the last comments I kind of had, Mr. Berger, you know, I do want to thank you, because I'm not fully against the project. You did make a lot of concessions. You can see the amount of work that you could put into it. It just, I'm kind of concerned that maybe we're going a little bit too fast on this without letting the planning commission kind of look at it, finding out who exactly the tenants are, because I mean, if you're just gonna bring a Del Taco or something like, I'm not saying that's who you're gonna bring.
It's better than Del Taco.
Okay, well, I definitely hope so. I'm looking forward to it, but so I just think we're just a little premature for that. So that's the only hesitation I have right now. But thank you so much for bringing a better product back to us.
I did have one other comment about the conditions of approval, and we discussed this with staff, and I guess I'm not sure it showed up in the final document, but Patricia brought it to my attention. When we did the original proposal, we agreed to $1 million fee for the 347,000 square feet. We've reduced it by a certain percentage, and we thought the fee should be reduced by the appropriate percentage, and we were proposing 875 versus the 915. We'd like to propose that it goes to the 875, but I'm willing to use some of that savings from the 875 to the 915 to maybe apply it to the sign, which I think will be more expensive as a digital sign. So I'm proposing that the condition, the conditions of approval reflect an $875,000, I think it's a Parks and Rec fee, rather than $915. But some of that could be applied to helping out with the sign, which would be, you know, a digital sign's pretty expensive.
It wouldn't be no more than 500,000. We did one already for 300 here.
Yeah, well,
I won't break the bank on you.
you know, it's all about the size.
So you want to utilize the savings between the 915 and the 875?
Some of the savings.
Something you got to work out with staff.
Right, but I'd like it, the condition, I'm on record, but I'd like the conditions to reflect 875, but I'm on record saying that I'll apply some of those savings to help with the sign.
75 is what was read to us by staff.
That's correct. However, in the conditions, that would be condition number 25, it still states 915,000. So if you were to approve the 875,000 as opposed to the 915, you would have to amend that condition.
Yeah, but he got a reduction in the building too. That's what he's basing it on. That original amount of 915 was based on a much larger, the 348,000 square feet, and that's got down to 305, which brought it down to 875, correct?
Correct.
All right.
The $1 million, Mayor, was based on the 347,000 square feet.
Correct.
So either by acreage, 13.6 acres for the industrial rather than 15.6, or the square footage, in either calculation, the fee would be adjusted down to the 875, just by pure math.
So it's 40,000 for the sign.
The sign's not going to cost 40,000. It's not even going to cost 500,000. Where, Mr. Director of Public Works, how much did that sign cost us? 176,000, because we did a lot of our own work, so I think you could cover that.
I'm sorry,
176,000
I didn't hear what he said over there. 176,000 for
is
what?
what our first signage cost us, our first digital sign.
Well, the 40,000 is going to help a little bit then. This first, okay, Mayor, I think I'm being taken advantage of here.
All right. I don't even have a motion on the table yet to adjust your 875, so at this time, I am now asking, did I close public hearing already? I am now asking for a motion on the resolution to either deny or to call a motion on the resolution to approve the project and the first reading of the ordinance based on the change of the 915,000 fee down to 875. Huh? Use your microphone, please.
Excuse me, Mayor, condition 25.
Condition number 25.
Project-specific requirements.
Yes, and then the other.
Mayor, you can make reference to a digital sign too, if you so desire.
I was gonna add that, and the additional discussion of a digital sign at the corner to be discussed with staff.
I'm in for the digital sign.
All right, that's the resolution. Someone wants to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the project certifying the environmental impact report and the mitigation monitoring reporting program and the additional sign consideration.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, just to clarify, you're also, Councilmember Rogers, you're also saying that you're doing the first reading of the specific plan amendment ordinance as well?
Yes, the second part, yes. Thank you.
All right, got a motion? Anybody seconding? Second by Councilman Rab.
But just that we put on the record that we're approving the 304,000 square foot warehouse, not the original 347.
Correct.
Correct.
All right, please call the vote.
Rogers, Rab, Vargas, yes. Nava, Corona, no.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Berger.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Item 12 is business items not requiring a public hearing. 12A is consideration to purchase a commercial drone. This is going to be introduced by Deputy City Manager Ernie Reyna.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. So for this item was taken to our Public Safety Committee meeting back on July 21st, 2023. And so for this presentation, we'll have Sergeant Chad Statt of the Paris Police Department to talk about this drone.
Good evening. The sheriff station's looking to purchase two DJI Matrice 30T drones. These drones are renowned for their exceptional quality, reliability, and versatility. They'll be utilized to optimize law enforcement operations and advance public safety. The benefits of the drone: a small, remotely operated unmanned aircraft system, also commonly referred to as a drone, are efficient and effective way of providing law enforcement critical information to respond to calls for service in emergency situations and/or to conduct criminal investigations. Some examples include providing an overhead view of an area or incident for ground personnel, safely clearing the interior of buildings, providing detailed documentation of crime and accident scenes, and searching for lost or missing persons. The Paris station will utilize the patrol drone basically for public safety, emergency calls such as shootings, shot spotter alerts, fire responses, search and rescue, missing children, dementia patients, suspects, articles, and hazard searches, crime scene documentation, traffic collision reconstruction, special events, disaster responses, and intelligence gathering. The drones will not be used for random surveillance activities to target a person based solely on individuals' characteristics such as race, ethnicity, national origin, religion, disability, gender, or sexual orientation. They won't be used to harass, intimidate, or discriminate against any individual or group, to conduct personal business of any type, and the drone will not be weaponized. Some of the drone capabilities: it's got a 40-minute flight time, a zoom camera from 113 to 405 millimeter lens, a wide angle camera up to 24 millimeters. It's got a thermal camera, MPV flight camera, a laser rangefinder, public announcement system, spotlight, and the remote control has a 7.2-inch touchscreen LED screen. California City is currently deploying the drone. Riverside County Sheriff Hemet Station, Riverside County Sheriff Moreno Valley Station, Riverside County SCB K-9, Riverside Police Department, Corona Police Department, Murrieta Police Department, Menifee Police Department, Hemet Police Department, and I know that Lake Elsinore just went on board with drones. Drones used in law enforcement is considered commercial use, and every department drone pilot needs to hold a commercial federally issued drone pilot's operator's license. Pilots must operate under the regulations of the Department Certification of Authorization, and it's from the FAA, and should comply with their requirements. All pilots must maintain current certification with the Sheriff's Department under the direction of the drone coordinator. Every department drone pilot needs to be trained regularly with the system they use. Every one of our flights is recorded and will be downloaded to the department server. The total cost for purchasing of the 2 drones, which includes extra batteries, charging cases, portable vehicle charging systems, and the speaker and spotlight, is roughly $41,138. I got a few videos of the drone in use here. This is a suspect hiding in a ditch where you can see this. The drone has the visual of him there. This is the same incident, but with the thermal camera, so you can see the difference of using it at night. This is another night view of the thermal camera. Yep. And this is just one that shows the camera's capabilities. This is about 400 feet and a mile away from that residence.
Take this slide. So, Mr. Mayor, the recommendation from staff and from the Paris Sheriff Station is that the purchase of 2 commercial drones for the use of the Paris Sheriff Station at a total cost of $41,138. As indicated, the funds will come from savings within the Sheriff's Department budget.
Thank you, Mr. Reno. Council, just to add, this did come before the the Public Safety Committee meeting, and we were very impressed with it. We saw the same video, and we definitely made recommendations to move it to the full council. Let me go ahead and open up for public comment first before we go into any deliberations. Madam Clerk, do you have any requests to speak on this item?
No, sir.
Is there anybody in the audience wishing to speak on this item? Okay, we're going to close the public comment. And council, anybody have any questions, or anybody want to make a motion? Councilman Corona?
Yeah, I'm very impressed about it. I know drones have been utilized. They've improved so much. I think it's great for the safety of our law enforcement who could get a bird's eye view of what's going on. I do have a question though. Will this be primarily used in the city of Paris or wherever the Paris station serves?
Wherever the Paris station serves.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Have we discussed, I'm not saying specifically this, but the Paris station, they serve in the surrounding communities too. Have we talked about using the county as well as helping fund some of these things? Because it seems like they come primarily to us, which I'm happy to support this specific one, but in the future, is that something that we've discussed with the county?
That discussion hasn't happened yet, but it can. I mean, staff can reach out to them.
I don't think that question was answered correctly.
Yeah,
Or was it?
so it will be used primarily in the city of Paris. Just like the off-road vehicle we have, we don't take that outside and you use it outside in the county areas. So it will specifically be here. Because the city pays for it, it will be here.
If there was an emergency or something.
Yes,
like
if
that-
there's something big going on, a large fire that may reach into the city of Paris, yes, we would fly it out there and look. So there is a chance that on occasion it could go out there, but on a regular basis, it's going to be used in Paris.
Okay.
City of Paris.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Anybody else? Councilman Rabb? Oh, you guys already motioned. I'm in.
Yeah, and so just so you know, they did announce a 25% price reduction on these
About it tonight?
right now. So buy now is what they, yeah.
All right, thank
So
you.
we should still be able to get that price reduction if it is approved, so.
Thank you.
It will be a little less than that 41.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, we have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers, second by Councilman Rabb. Please call the vote.
Get those suspects.
Someone has, oh, there it is. All right.
5-0, motion approved.
All right, thank you.
As
Appreciate
always,
it.
public service is right up here for our community, so thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yep. All right, 12B is consideration to receive and file a report regarding the Paris Historic Theater Restoration Project located at 279 South D Street. This will be introduced by our Director of Economic Development and Housing, Michelle Ogawa.
Mr. Mayor, this item is being requested to be continued at a future meeting, at the next meeting, to allow time for a visitation to the theater.
Who's requesting this extension?
I am Mayor. We have a scheduled site visit coming up Monday, and I wanted to make sure I visit the site.
And we is you and,
Councilmember Corona and staff.
all right, very good, to be continued. I got to,
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
so are we going to be date specific? Hang on, are we going to be date specific or is this no date specific?
We'd recommend it be continued to the next council meeting,
Okay.
August.
No, September
26th.
26th? That was the 29th.
September 29th.
29th, am I right? I said the 26th.
I'm sorry, I'm fighting something, I don't know. 26th.
All right. Was there any request to speak for public comment on this matter?
No, sir.
Was there anybody that wished to speak on this matter? All right, am I doing good, okay, Mr. City Attorney? All right,
Do we need a motion to do
It's
that?
so-
I'll make that motion.
yes. All right, so we have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers, second by Mayor Pro Tem Nava to move this item to the September 26th meeting. Please call the vote.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. 12C, consideration to review and provide recommendation regarding fiscal year 2023-2024 draft capital improvement program budget workshop, introduced by Director of Finance, Matthew Shank.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. Yes, tonight I have a brief presentation for the fiscal year 23-24 draft capital improvement program, or CIP, and this is for the budget workshop. A couple of topics we're going to cover tonight is requesting of funding for new CIP projects, requested increases and decreases for current existing CIP projects. We'll have some highlights from community services on completed and in-progress projects, and then highlights from Public Works on completed and upcoming projects. As always, if you have any questions on anything specific, myself and the other directors are available for any questions. A little history on this. In the past, the CIP was typically approved in June, 1 year with the budget, and then in the off year in June as well. However, with bringing engineering in-house, we thought it was recommended to wait a little bit until for final approval in October. We began working on this in July, right after the budget was approved. We went through many versions of what you're going to see here tonight. We looked through at what projects were the highest priority for the city, and then we look at how we're going to fund this. We have multiple funding sources, including Measure A, gas tax, RBBD, or Road Bridge Benefit District, or development impact fees. So starting, our total request for projects today are $29.7 million, That includes $4.4 million that you see there on that screen for new capital improvement projects. Existing capital improvement projects you'll see at $25.3 million. I'm just going to highlight a couple of the more material items. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to interrupt or stop. Bob Glass Gym renovation, we are requesting $2.3 million, and that is being funded by a state grant. The very bottom there, you'll see D Street traffic signal intersection, $1.6 million, and that's RBBD diff. I apologize, the screen's small, it's a lot of lines. This is actually 2 slides together, so the next slide continues on. These are the existing projects, total of $25.3 million. Couple of the material ones to point out. Bottom third of your screen, you'll see P040 Paris Valley Storm Trail Phase 2. That is a request of $3 million for industrial park, funded by Industrial Park Diff. And lastly, on the very bottom, it looks a little interesting that it has 2 lines with the same description, and we do that just to show it has multiple sources of funding. There, for the annual slurry seal program, $2.5 million is being requested, funded by Road Maintenance and Rehab, and $300,000 from Measure A. Again, this is the second screen of that total of $25.3 million. Couple items to note on there. The second one down, D Street renovation, again, 2 lines, different funding sources, $75,000 requested from Measure A, and $2.2 million from Transportation Diff. About a third of the way down, you'll see the annual pothole repair program, citywide pavement rehab, as a $2 million request, and I will go into more detail into that later in this presentation, but that will be funded by Measure A. About halfway down, you'll see Ramona Expressway pavement rehab. That's a $5.3 million request. That'll be funded by RBBD Diff. And lastly, the second to the bottom, you'll see 11 South D Street water line replacement. That is a $3.6 million request, and that will be funded by Measure A.
Before you leave the screen, just for clarification, the Ramona Expressway pavement rehab is all lanes, both directions, correct?
That's correct.
From east to west
Correct.
of our
From-
boundaries.
That's right, from,
None of this patch job.
no, from Webster to Ryder, correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So going in next, we'll go into some of the completed and in-progress projects for community services first. And as I go through these, obviously, I didn't list everyone just for the sake of time. If you guys ever have any questions on a status of any projects that are in progress, feel free to reach out to myself or the other directors. We'd be happy to help. Starting with Enchanted Hills Park, Community Park, P034. This was completed in August of 2022, located at 1400 Weston Road, and that budget was $11.6 million. These are obviously some great pictures to see quite the difference between the before and after. Next, we have F064, or the Economic Development Office Renovation Project. Council is probably very aware, as they were next door neighbors to the construction during that. This was completed in April of 2023, located at City Hall, and this budget was $250,000. Next, we have the International Mother Language Monument Project. This is F061, completed in January of 2023, located at 163 East San Jacinto Avenue, and this had a budget of $225,000. Next, we'll go to the CIP projects in progress for community services. First, we have P056, or Morgan Park 2.1. Anticipated completion is fall of 2024. This has 2 funding sources. The parking lot expansion of $2.1 million is coming from Industrial Park Diff, and $951,000 for the Morgan Street improvements is coming from RCTC Measure A. Next, we have P048, Mercado Park Splash Pad, and anticipated completion is winter of 2023, which is perfect swim season. And that is 3 sources of funding, $225,000 from per capita grant program, $350,000 from American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, and $400,000 from Industrial Park Development Impact Fee.
And all we did there was the recirculation pump and,
Yes, that's correct. It includes the water recirculation pump, the rinsing showers, but yes, because of the cost and increase in the equipment, that's it.
man, $1 million just for that. Wow. Good chunk of change. Well needed, though. Thank you.
Next, we have P043 Copper Creek Park. Anticipated completion is spring of 2024. Three sources of funding: $2.8 million from Clean California Local Grant, $1.5 million from Industrial Park DIF for the city grant match requirement, and then $1.3 million from the Industrial Park DIF for the inflation of construction material and equipment costs.
Okay, go back.
Yes.
We're not saying what we're doing here. We're just saying how much we
I'm just
spent.
highlighting some of the in progress. Oh,
Yes, Mayor, this, you want to know the amenities that
Well,
are
I mean, I
proposed?
know we did the pickleball, or whatever you call that, indoor soccer thing.
Yes,
What-
so yes, we've already completed the multi-purpose sports court, and that's where they play the futsal and the restroom. But part of this project, we're proposing a new all-inclusive playground, the trail along the perimeter of the park.
Lighting.
Lighting, exactly,
Cameras.
that was a priority there for the safety. Demonstration garden, additional trees. In the middle, there's a V-ditch.
Right, we're gonna
so
close that up, put that on the
exactly,
ground.
Phil.
Okay.
And resurfacing the existing basketball court.
Perfect,
So
thank you.
currently, the project is out to bid, and tomorrow the bid's open. So that's coming forward to Parks and Rec next week.
Got it, thank you.
next we have F053 Paris Green City Farm and Community Park Access Enhancement Project. This is nearing completion. Anticipated completion is fall of 2023. Two funding sources: $455,000 from Urban Greening State Grant and $450,000 from ARPA. Next, we have F037 Fossfield Park Expansion and Renovation Project. I apologize. Anticipated completion is winter of 2024, and this is funded by $8.5 million allocated from the state of California budget. We're all aware of the construction going on right outside. The P037 Fossfield Park Tennis Court Project. Anticipated completion is winter of '23. And this has two sources of funding: $567,000 from ARPA and $350,000 from Industrial Park DIF. Next, we'll jump over to Public Works, starting with the completed projects. As we were speaking earlier, the digital monument sign. This was a placement of one digital monument sign at City Hall campus. This started back in August of '22 and was completed in August of '23. This was funded by DIF, Community Amenities, and total construction cost, as Brian said earlier, was $176,000. The second project was F025, the Cesar Chavez Library. This was to upgrade the existing HVAC boiler and boilers to include ventilation for the library. This was started back in '22 and completed in 2023. And this was funded by Development Impact Fees Library. And total construction cost of that was $300,000.
That's amazing, such a massive piece of equipment, and I got parks and stuff, it's costing $1 million, and that was only $300,000. Go on, it's okay.
Sorry, couldn't hear you. And lastly, F057 is an annual recurring fund for the building maintenance of city-owned facilities. A couple of the projects that were completed in '22-23 was roof replacement at Fire Station 101, as well as 227 North D Street, the finance counter, as well as the sewer connection at 227 North D Street. And lastly, we have some upcoming projects for Public Works. S007 D Street renovation along 4th Street and between C and D Streets. This provides landscaping upgrades at 4th and C Streets to match Metrolink corner and continue along 4th Street to D Street. Anticipated start date is winter of 2023. Total construction cost of $588,000 will be funded by DIF transportation as well as gas tax. Sorry, my tax day is behind me. S007 D Street renovation along D Street between 6th and 8th Street. And this is to provide street, sidewalk, curb gutter, lighting, traffic signage, and landscaping improvements on D Street between 6th and 8th Street. This anticipated start date is spring 2024. Total cost of $2.3 million will be funded by DIF transportation as well as gas tax. As I mentioned earlier, the citywide pavement rehab, S036. Obviously, this will be citywide. Anticipated start date will be fiscal year 23-24, and the budget for this will be $2 million. So what's next? Again, like I mentioned, this is a workshop, so we're not doing a final approval tonight. We will bring that back on October 10th. In between that time, myself and the other directors will be presenting to the various committees. September 20th, we'll present to Parks and Rec. September 27th, Public Works Committee. And September 28th, the Ways and Means Committee. And then finally, on October 10th, we'll bring it back for our final approval. Again, lastly, I just want to thank the various departments. This is not just a finance effort. This was work, like I stated, starting back in July. We had many revisions, and the rest of the directors and their staff were fantastic in providing information. With that, that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Shank. Madam Clerk, do you have any requests to speak?
No, sir.
Anybody in the audience wish to speak on this item? All right, Council, any questions or comments?
Yeah, just.
Councilman
just a question.
Corona?
You guys, a question and comment. And one of the first slides that you showed was on the library, and I think it was for $86,000. What does that entail?
See, let me.
It was, I'm sorry, I think one of these, yeah. No, go back. This one right here. So it's got $86,000. That's for just community amenity? No, that's for,
That's the funding source.
yeah.
Actually, so that currently has a budget of $520,000, and it's for HVAC automation system, heater repairs, and roofing.
Okay.
So this is just simply adding on to that due to additional costs.
Gotcha, okay.
Yes.
So, you know, for my comment, if we could kind of look into this when we kind of bring these projects back. But the library, you know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, it's in bad shape. The interior it's a 30-year-old, it's gonna be 30 years old next year, and it looks like it. Like the furniture's the same old stuff. So when you show the picture of the new renovations that we had in our office buildings here, it looks nice, which it should be, because it's for our staff. We want to make sure that they're in a nice place. But for our public who use the library, it's in bad shape. And if we could look at to see what it would cost to kind of get it in this kind of at this level that we have here at our council chambers, because it is an extension of our city hall. I see it that way, at least. You know, our city is in charge of the maintenance of it. We did a great job with the HVAC. It was much needed. I don't think there was an option there. I know they have roof works there with the last storm. They were having all kinds of buckets out there. And, you know, for our public to go use that, it's just not a good look. When they come in here and they see our staff offices looking in superb condition, but our library that our public uses is in very poor condition. So I'm not asking for something just great, because I do think it's a very nice building. I do like the architecture of it, the exterior. The inside, the architecture is very nice too. But if we could just bring it to the 2024 and not leave it in the 1990s. The furniture just is old, you know that light wood furniture that we were all used to in the 90s, right? So it was built in the 90s, but it shouldn't look like it, which is my point. So if we could kind of just take a look at that. Also, for the next thing too, if we could look into, I see that we're doing a lot of work over here at this intersection here, but there's one corner, and I don't know why we just can't seem to figure it out. I know I brought it up to Public Works before, but but the corner, it would be the southeast corner of Paris Boulevard and Nuevo Road. They have the rebar showing, and we keep going there, we patch it up, and a few months later, same thing. I think it has to do with the drainage, obviously.
The road itself, you're referring to?
Yeah, the road, the road itself, yeah. Just that corner right there. I mean, it's a very busy corner, obviously. People are making that right turn onto Nuevo Road from Paris Boulevard to Nuevo Road. But, you know, as a person that works, obviously, at Paris High School, all the teachers bring that up to me all the time.
That whole intersection needs to be repaved. That's not listed on the project?
Actually, Mayor, we want to add a item to this to actually look at the drainage system basically from where Sizzler is all the way easterly to connect to the existing storm drain system that we have in place.
Yeah, but the road
Hopefully-
condition though, also, and that whole four
It's,
corners.
it's pretty bad, yeah. But now my understanding that there's no drainage right in front of Paris High, and they just redid the whole thing. And I was thinking like, okay, I wonder if this is a good time to do it, and it just never got done. I'm just kind of
Yeah,
curious
actually, we
about
have
that.
Nuevo Road storm drain system. That's one of the items in our.
Okay, I know that's a
CIP
large,
we
that's
want.
gonna be a large project. It's gonna be a headache for everybody, but kind of work with the schools because.
So hopefully with that system, we'll alleviate flooding or ponding by where the school is at
Okay.
the corner, and kids
Okay.
cross, I see it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a huge project, but at least that corner, just in the immediate future, we could take a look at that. Okay, thank you. That's all for me. But great, but I want to tell you thank you. It
Yeah,
was
and
great
at the
presentation.
committee meetings, I will definitely provide the balances in our diff for libraries.
Fantastic.
See
Thank
what
you.
options are.
Thank you.
Anybody else? So, oh, well, I was looking at the queue. Go ahead. Mayor Pro
Yes,
Tem.
just a quick question. Thank you for the presentation, and this is great for our public transparency purposes. Could you please confirm where on the website we could have this updated information on the
Yeah,
city's website?
Yes, the prior year's version is currently on there. It's in with the budget. And then once this is approved, we can definitely put that in once it's approved
Great.
with the budget that's up on the website now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
The furniture in the library, is that our responsibility or the county's? Anybody know? All right, something for you guys to go back and look, but Councilman Corona brought up a very good point. That is old school stuff. And he says, he doesn't want big. No, I want to go big. And you need to, if it is ours, you need to go visit the schools and do their innovative work that they do with the different types of furniture that the kids sit on. Some of them have the ball bouncer. We want to replicate what they're doing now in the classroom, bring it to the library, so it's an extension of doing their work. We need, if it's our responsibility, he's spot on. That is so archaic. You know, the building is beautiful, the building itself is beautiful, that's fine. But we should be able to upgrade the furniture for our kids. Okay, so get that done by tomorrow. Thank you. All right, if there are no other questions, this is receive and file, right? No?
Well, yes, the
So-
requested action is, as you've just
So
done,
you got everything down, what you wanted, what we wanted?
is to provide recommendations to staff.
No, I said, did you get everything down that everybody just asked for?
I apologize, I can't hear you.
Did you get everything down noted that we just asked you for?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Is there anything else, guys? Anybody else wants anything? It's not over yet. Anyway, you're gonna go visit all the different committees. They're gonna probably come up with more ideas, and then you're gonna still come back to us one more time.
Yes, you're lucky enough, you'll see me a lot more times.
That's okay. All right. So if you guys are good, we're good. All right, very good, thank you. Item 13 is our council communications, and we're at the 9 o'clock hour, guys. No hints. Councilwoman Rogers?
Just a couple brief updates from my WRCOG meeting yesterday. We've had great success with having fellows from the fellowship program here in the city of Paris, and they're opening up the applications again. And if we're interested in obtaining another fellow, the applications are due to WRCOG on October 2nd. And one of our guest speakers yesterday, Daniel Bringhurst from the Urgettis Group, informed us of a new HUD grant called Removing Obstacles to Housing. And it's over $85 million available, and California is a top priority because we've had a decline of over 500,000 people moving out of state. So he's following up with emails, and I'll forward that to Clara and Window once I get it, so we can meet with him to find out about getting our fair share of that $85 million. So, and also, we have collected in our region last year over $70 million in TUMP dollars, and our own Central Pass has been responsible for 14 million of that. And most of it has come from industrial projects because they're outpacing right now the residential projects as far as contributions to TUMP. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Rab?
Yes, I'd like to commend community services staff for putting on an excellent hike. Myself and Councilman Corona attended the hike this past Saturday over at KBM Park. Coincidentally, we did the same hike 6 years ago on that date, so it just shows like the level of commitment staff's had and just keeping the traditions going. So I want to commend staff for such a great event. Echoing Councilman Corona's comments regarding the library, but on a different note from our agenda meeting. I know we contract out with the county to provide different services. If we can look with the county regarding their security services, I utilize the library at least once a week. I notice the people that they've hired there, they're not really doing any kind of proactive enforcement or proactive watching of the library. They're usually there on their phone. I told one guy he was on his phone with his back turned against the door, and I was like, hey man, your back's against the door. Someone can come in here and slap you right now, and you wouldn't be able to do anything. He kind of laughed and he put his phone down. So I'm not saying that they're bad people. They're probably not even paid that much. Maybe we can look into that because I think it's serious that maybe they can get up and walk around a little bit, make sure things are going well there. And on that note, if we can, in the interim, while we discuss moving forward on the capital improvements of the library, if we can get out there, maybe pressure wash the front of the library because it can use a little care in that area moving forward. And with that concludes my comments for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Corona?
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to thank the staff for putting on a great hike. I know it was a little warm, but the residents still came out. They enjoyed themselves. So great job on that one. I'm looking forward to the next one. The movie night, I attended with the mayor for the Mario Brothers. It was into the summer splash event. So many people were at Enchanted Hills. Just a great park. And with the residents have done such a great job of maintaining that park as well too. I know that the zip line, which is one of the most popular things, it looks like those are off. I'm not saying that the kids did it maliciously, but if we could have those kind of replaced and stuff like that, because it's such a popular feature, I think they just kind of wore it out. I do sit on the RTA. I'm on the committee for RTA, where I represent the city of Paris. So what they're doing right now, in light of the storms and the summer that just happened, if we could look at our most busiest bus stops, I know some of them already have it, but to provide shelters, just see, kind of work with the RTA, kind of see which ones are the most utilized bus stops. On Sunday, I also attended with Mayor Pro Tem Nava and the mayor at the La Liga soccer finals that they had over there. So I know that we had at the last meeting, it was a very lively crowd, but it was just great to see all the kids just participating with the family. I thought the rain was going to kind of cause a damper on it, but it didn't. It was, all the kids were still out there, and we got to give out awards, and everyone seemed to be really happy. So thank you to everybody.
Great. Mayor Pro Tem?
I'd just like to wish Paris a happy Hispanic Heritage Month. It's coming up September 15 and runs all the way through October 15th. And those are all my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a few I've been passing on because of our lateness, but I got to finally make these announcements. So on July 17th, that's how long I've been holding this one off, I submitted a pledge to join the Mayor's Alliance to End Childhood Hunger campaign and represent Paris alongside 230 mayors in the United States to take meaningful action to end childhood hunger in cities nationwide. Paris is the first city in Riverside County to join this campaign. The campaign will focus on advocating to end childhood hunger and committing to the healthy development of children by providing equitable access to nutritious foods for every child as an essential priority. The city will strive to build partnerships with our local school districts, share resources, and promote awareness of this campaign. More information can be found at themayorshungeralliance.org. And we do have some others in California, just to name a few. Mayors Emma Sheriff from Compton, Aquanetta Warren from Fontana, Farrah Khan from Irvine, Rex Richardson from Long Beach, Tim Sandoval from Pomona. But I am excited that I am the first mayor in the city, in the county of Riverside to join this effort. So along with staff that'll be helping me. And it's going to be all of us as a team doing it. It's not just the mayor, but. All right. September 3rd, I attended the 13th North America Bangla Literature and Culture Convention in North Hollywood. The city was represented with a plaque, the city was presented with a plaque for outstanding contribution of installing the International Mother's Language Monument, also known as the Bangla Shahid Minar. The Bangla community is forever grateful to the city of Paris for our support. Real quick, thank the American Legion again for their annual 9/11 breakfast honoring our first responders. Mr. Corona mentioned the end of Splash. Thank you, staff. You guys are always putting on good projects. And then just most recently, a few days ago, I held a meeting with staff, representatives from the State of California Department of Rehabilitation, along with city staff members and the Chamber of Commerce regarding inclusive work experience. The focus is on connecting our local businesses with programs that can fund up to 300 hours of employment by hiring community members with disabilities, which can hopefully connect to my Mayor's Guaranteed program that we haven't forgotten about. We're still working on that one, too. That being said, I'll move on to item number 14, our city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The 22nd Annual Rods and Rails event will be held on Saturday, October 7th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Southern California Railway Museum. This is a free, family-friendly event that will have live entertainment, kids' activities, food, and retail vendors, as well as classic car and a motorcycle show. You can still register to participate in the Classic Car and Motorcycle Show and as a vendor through the city's Civic Rec portal online. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Awesome, thank you very much. All right, item 15 is the long-awaited adjournment. Thank you, everybody. Hung out a little bit longer tonight, but a lot of information we had to get ground covered, so have a safe night, and we'll see you next time.